Welcome to The Explainer. Listen, today we're breaking down a truly incredible comeback from the world of international football. We're looking at a recent World Cup preparation match that literally had it all. We're talking early dominance, massive tactical shifts, insane pressure, and a dramatic underdog narrative. It is the thrilling clash between Ivory Coast and France.
So, setting the scene here, Nantes, France. On paper, sure, it's just a World Cup test, a friendly. But you know as well as I do, when the whistle blows in a packed stadium against a top-tier team, the word friendly goes completely out the window. For France, it was a chance to flex their muscles on home soil. For Ivory Coast, this was the ultimate litmus test against a tournament favorite. And man, you're about to see exactly how a high-stakes, giant-slaying story gets written in real time.
Section 1. Surviving the French Storm.
Okay, let's dive into this. France unleashed absolutely sheer attacking firepower right from the opening whistle. We're talking sustained, heavy pressure orchestrated by some of the biggest names in the sport: Kylian Mbappé, Mikel Olise, Adrien Rabiot. They essentially set up camp in the Ivorian half, dictating the tempo and firing off high-quality chance after high-quality chance.
But standing in the way of that overwhelming French attack was the absolute resilience of the Ivorian defense, anchored by their goalkeeper, Yahia Fofana. The guy was an absolute wall. I mean, despite France controlling the vast majority of possession, Fofana and his backline acted as this impenetrable shield. They definitely bent under the immense pressure for sure, but they totally refused to break.
Well, they held out almost as long as they could. Right as the halftime whistle was practically in the referee's mouth, the deadlock finally broke. In the 45th minute, attacking midfielder Rayan Cherki finds the breakthrough for France. It is such a heartbreaking moment for a defense that has literally worked its tail off for 45 minutes, only to concede right before the break. Goliath goes up 1-0, and heading into the locker room, it really felt like France had asserted the dominance everyone was expecting.
Section 2. The momentum shift.
Now, the rhythm totally changes here. And ironically, the catalyst for this shift came directly from the French bench. At halftime, France opted to make a bunch of substitutions, which, hey, is perfectly normal for a prep match where a manager wants to test out different players, right? But these changes inadvertently disrupted the very rhythm France had worked so hard to establish. That fluid, overwhelming machine from the first half suddenly looked, well, a little disjointed.
And that disjointed new rhythm left France incredibly vulnerable. Ivory Coast instantly recognized this drop in intensity, and they flipped the script. They stopped just surviving and started initiating. Specifically, winger Simon Adingra became an absolute nightmare for the French defense. He started launching these stinging counterattacks, basically proving the Ivorians were no longer just there to absorb pressure.
Now, what's really interesting about this turnaround is just how incredibly fast it was. Cherki scores in the 45th, right? We have halftime, and then bam! By the 53rd minute, Ivory Coast strikes back. They didn't let that late first-half goal deflate them at all. Instead, they ambushed a transitioning French team completely off guard.
Tactically, this equalizer was just a thing of beauty. It starts with this brilliantly timed, super daring attacking run, and get this, it's not from a striker, but from defender Guela Doué. He reads the space perfectly, bombs forward while the French defense is caught disorganized, and just executes a remarkably calm finish. A defender slotting it home against France to tie the game, that is a massive statement. 1-1.
Section 3. The climax. Ahmad's dramatic winner.
So we're into the final stages, and it is incredibly nerve-wracking. The game is totally wide open. Both sides trading heavy blows. Marcus Thuram had this brilliant chance for France, a near miss that honestly had the entire home crowd holding their collective breath. But here's the thing. Every single time France committed bodies forward to get the win, they left the back door completely open for Ivory Coast's lethal counter threat.
The clock is ticking down. 80 minutes, 82 minutes. The tension in the stadium is just palpable. Then we hit the 84th minute. Only 6 minutes of regular time left. This is exactly the moment where tired legs make mistakes and where heroes are made.
And here comes the magic in that 84th minute. A rapid break sees this incredibly precise cross whipped in from the right, completely bypassing the retreating French defense. Ahmad tracks the flight of the ball perfectly. He arrives at the exact fraction of a second to meet it, and with absolute ice in his veins, he doesn't even take a touch. He guides a spectacular, first-time finish right into the far corner. The keeper has absolutely no chance.
2-1. Against all the odds, against the early run of play, and right in the backyard of one of the world's absolute best teams, Ivory Coast flipped the script entirely. The referee blows the final whistle, cementing an absolutely incredible underdog comeback victory.
Section 4. World Cup Stakes.
So the crucial point here is what this actually means for the future of both squads. For Ivory Coast, guys, this isn't just a friendly win on paper. This is a massive injection of positive momentum heading into their World Cup campaign. They just proved to themselves and the rest of the world that they can absorb immense pressure from an elite team, stay tactically disciplined, and be clinically ruthless when it matters. For France, on the other hand, it's a sobering reality check. They have to regroup, figure out where they lost their rhythm, and bounce back fast in their next friendly.
Which leaves us with one ultimate question. We've just seen exactly what Ivory Coast is capable of when their backs are against the wall in Nantes, but can they bottle this lightning? Can they actually carry this giant slang momentum right into the crucible of the World Cup? It's a fascinating prospect to consider as the tournament gets closer. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on this Ivorian squad.